How have these tens of thousands of small charities that you're talking about actually fared since 2020 and the advent of so much that's changed?
Well, one charity I was talking to earlier in the week said, and they're a military charity, they said they have been devastated by COVID and an inability to raise the money they need to raise, because almost all of their fundraising was face-to-face through small events and through direct high street collections. Now, of course, it is now possible to have contactless collection boxes and contactless street collections. But if you're not geared up for that as a charity, and indeed if you weren't geared up for it before the pandemic hit, that's really difficult to adapt to.
I wonder also if in the short term, at least people might be understandably hesitant maybe about transacting with high street charity collections in that way. I wonder if it feels more vulnerable that rather than handing over a £1 coin or a £5 note or whatever to enter into that electronic transaction, I wonder if there's just a hesitancy.
Well, it's adapting, isn't it? It's something that we're not used to doing, but actually it's an increase in security. There's less chance of fraud through using contactless, and for charities, small charities, they're actually able to adapt quite quickly. As I said, there's a challenge of being able to afford to change, but they can be quite agile, and it does bring opportunities to be more long-term relationships. So if people are making online donations, and I think in 2016 you were seeing a sort of 26% increase in one-off online donations, and that is increasing. That actually allows charities to build better relationships with their donors and therefore build trust. And one of the things we have seen over the course of the last 2 years is that public trust in charities has greatly increased.
What does the future hold? And I suppose really what I'm thinking there is, have you been aware of small charities that have actually gone out of, business for want of a better word? Have some just been unable to keep going?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, no, I know of 3 charities personally that have had to close down because they were unable to sustain themselves during COVID. Now, some charities, the charitable need, the delivery of their objectives, they were unable to do through COVID. And other charities saw a massive increase in demand for their services during the lockdown. But when we're looking at the move to a more cashless society, I think it is about being prepared to change the way in which we fundraise as charities. I would suggest looking at the use of Facebook appeals and other campaigns online. So you're building your communities and being able to feed back effectively the impact of those donations. And that is actually one of the advantages of a cashless fundraising project.